Hi, my name is Tejan McCanny, and I'm here with.
Hi, my name is Kara.
Hi, so thank you for being on with us today. So my first question of the day is, how is it working as an athletic trainer in college?
I really enjoy working as an athletic trainer at a college. I picked D3 specifically because I wanted to work amongst a whole range of sports. I wasn't really sport specific, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not an athlete anymore. I'm pretty washed up in terms of sports, but I still
Okay,
get to be around them and experience them and, help others to continue to participate in their sports. So it's a really cool job to have.
that's cool. So can you tell me about yourself and how you got in a role?
Yeah. So I actually did not know what athletic training was until I was a junior in college. I had a professor that kind of pushed me in that direction because I was initially going for physical therapy. But
Right,
one of the biggest things to me is, I really enjoy sports. I like the idea of having patient care that goes from beginning to end. And that's a lot of what I do in my profession. I, see the injury, evaluate it right then and there, and
right,
then work with the athlete or the patient to rehab it all the way to return to play. So that's kind of a big part of why I chose this profession. Um, how did I get here? I went to UB. I was in grad school.
that's cool.
It's not something that I expected that I would have done.
Right,
It was hard to get through, but at the end of the day, it was all worth it. Like I'm doing something I truly enjoy.
right, that's cool. So what inspired you to become an assistant athletic trainer?
What inspired me? Um, Probably just the fact that I get to work with patients. I get to, help them out every day.
Right,
That's a lot of why I do what I do. One of the biggest things for me, I wanted to help patients or help people get back to their sport. And then I wanted to um, kind of have that little bit of like thrill, I guess we'll say,
right,
involved in my job. Because part of what I do is like more emergency management based, like the oh crap, what's happening? Like
right.
manage this situation. And you don't see that in like PT, OT, a lot of other professions. I guess my dad is honestly my inspiration because him and I used to both do volunteer ski patrol.
Mhm.
So essentially, we would be on the mountain skiing or snowboarding, and when people would get injured, we would take them down the mountain, take care of their injuries, send them off to further care should they need it. So seeing
Right,
him so passionate about that sort of thing, that volunteer work, and me being super passionate about that, and just being around a bunch of people that really, at the end of the day, are doing, a sport that they love and they're passionate about it and they're passionate about helping others. I was like, this is the type of setting I want to be in. Obviously
right,
that's volunteer, can't make money
right.
off of that. But I was like, this sort of thing would be perfect for like what I want to do with the rest of my life. So dad's
Uh,
definitely a big inspiration to me.
that's cool. So my last question is, did you play sports back in high school or in college?
I did. So I was a soccer player and a softball
That's
player
cool.
in high school, did a year of cross country, and then into college, I didn't participate in sports because it's D1 and I'm not D1
Yeah.
level. Um, but I did do rec league volleyball and I still continue to do rec league volleyball because it's just, something to keep me active.
Right. That's cool. So how was your routine as assistant athletic trainer?
Um, it's hard to say because my day to day is pretty different.
Yeah, I understand.
Routine is like really hard to have when you work with several teams and
Right.
things switch like every other day. But basically, I get in
Hmm.
and I, get myself ready for the day. I start getting out exercise cards and doing rehab with people.
Hmm.
Um, when I have time and I'm not working with patients, I'll step out to practices for a little bit. So I work with basketball, men's and women's currently. So
That's cool.
sometimes I'll go step out on the court and I'll just kind of hang out, watch what they're doing, see if anyone needs anything, just check in with them.
That's,
Um, in my free time at work, which is very rare because I'm just getting bombarded with patients,
right.
I'll try to do documentation, just like injury notes and whatnot. But that's usually like an end of the day type of thing.
Right.
So Those are the typical things I'll do in a day. And then if, something happens, like, I don't know, someone gets hurt on the ice or whatever, some
Mhm.
acute injury happens, I'll go run out and kind of take care of that and manage the situation.
Got it. That's cool. So, how long have you worked as just athletic trainer?
So this is my second year.
Okay. Um, so I was gonna ask, how did you get involved in the sports industry? But I think you already touched on that already.
Okay.
Okay. I'm out of high school. Did you just want to be like well, no, you said that. So like, um, what would you recommend for someone in a future that aims to be an assistant athletic trainer in the future? Any advice for someone?
What would I recommend? Um, Definitely. So if you're pretty clear cut, like definitively, like this is what I want to do, like I want to be an AT, know that your work-life balance is gonna be very hard to manage.
Right.
So the downside of working with, I guess, at least for me specifically, collegiate um, sports is
Mhm.
that you are at the mercy of the teams. So if they decide, like, the weather changes, game schedules or practices get canceled, things of that sort. It's like my schedule changes day to day, and I don't mean just like my day to day breakdown. I mean like the whole entire schedule of like when I go in and whatnot. So that's a big thing. Um, what was the question? It was
And what's some advice you would give to people like looking to be in a position in the future?
advice. Definitely take the time to figure out what type of setting you want to work in. That
Okay.
one, I was fortunate enough that when I started grad school, I had a pretty good idea that I was going to go into D3.
Mhm.
Um, and it worked out. I had a lot of friends that went through the program with me and they had no idea. Like they were like, I want to work a sport, this specific, but I don't know what level I want to work at. And every
Right.
setting is so completely different. So if you can take the time to really just, reach out, talk to other athletic trainers, see what their day to day is like and why they enjoy the environment that they work in, I think that'll ultimately help you get to the position you need to be in a lot quicker.
Right. That's nice. So one other question I have is, like, what is your ambition and goals in the future? Like being where you are right now. Like, do you have any goals set for the future?
Yeah, definitely. So something I wanted to do probably maybe 2 or so years out of grad school was that I wanted to become a preceptor.
Mhm.
So going through grad school, I experienced different clinical rotations at different sites. And the preceptor, or essentially like my mentor,
Right.
was always the athletic trainer at the site. So I always thought it would be super cool to kind of give back to the profession and be like, hey, like now I'm, roles reversed, like I'm the preceptor
Right.
now. I get to educate the students. I get to really be that one to kind of show them what this is all about and why we do what we do on a daily basis. So I've been trained for it. Last year I was a pseudo preceptor. Basically, like I called it the fun aunt because I would work with the kids and I would teach them things, but at the end of the day, it wasn't really like my duty to kind of keep, they weren't my AT students essentially. Like I was there to teach them, but at the end of the day, I wasn't their preceptor. So that's something I want to do. Last year I like sort of did it because it was my first year. My
Mhm.
grad school professor was like, no, like take the time to learn the ropes, like figure out what you're doing and like establish your ground. And then once you're ready next year. So this is next year. Like I'll have a student in the spring and I'll be able to kind of run through with them, like teach them things and whatnot. So I just think that's a nice way to give back to the profession. And it also keeps my skills sharp too, because I really like the idea of being to educate people too.
Right. So, what major did you take on college? What major were you in college? Or where you are right
So
now? What major?
okay. So I graduated, my undergrad is in exercise science, and
Okay.
then grad school I went for athletic training.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. I just wanted to have a couple questions with you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
That was it.
Okay.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So, do you have any questions for me? 'Cause I don't have any questions.
What did you say your major was? It was sports management?
Yes, that's right now in sports management. Yes.
Okay, very
In
cool.
the
So then,
future, oh, you can talk. You can talk.
no, you're okay. Go ahead.
Because I was gonna say like in the future, I wanted to do like sports marketing. Like I felt like a major for like when I transfer. But
Okay.
I was also like thinking a lot like of because where you are right now, you say you took what like exercise
Exercise science. Yeah.
science. So I might also like think of that too as a future major transfer too or change
Okay.
too. So
Yeah. I think it's always worth it to just get an idea of like what everyone's
yeah,
professions
so
are like. Yeah.
cause like in the future, like I'm still stuck on like what I want to do in the future as like as my job. So like I'm trying to branch in and see like what like different ideas and things I want to do in the future. So
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, shadow. If you can shadow a couple people in the couple professions that you think you could see yourself in, that'll give you a better idea as to whether or not, it's a good fit for you.
okay, got it. So yeah, I appreciate it. I think I'm coming on tonight. That's it.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's stop this.